Chapter 9: Using Your Initiative. The 21st of February 2019. I couldn't sleep last night with everything buzzing around in my head. I will write back to Mr. Green later today and accept the job, but not before I've put the 2 cheques in the bank. £10,000. Wow, that is the biggest one-off payment I have ever had. Return flights won't even cost £1,000, so there is plenty to play with. How long should I go for? Will a week be enough? It's a big country. What if I can't trace him? I will be on foreign soil with no contacts. I have no knowledge of the administration and record system there. I will have to buy a return ticket and secure a visa. I'll fast track that. By all accounts, they're not very welcoming at the American airports, and even less so if you haven't got proof that you'll be leaving soon afterwards. I will have to do a little bit of digging and prep work before I go. If I look to go this time next week, that should give me plenty of time. I have a little trip to County Durham to do first. I will go up there first thing in the morning and make it an overnighter. I can certainly afford it now. I've not been on the Durham coast since I was a little boy. I just remember it being absolutely Baltic, and that was in the summer. February is going to be even worse, so I better pack accordingly. Right, things to do. 1. Book hotel for tomorrow night. 2. Write letter to Mr. Green and post it rocket class. 3. Price up return flights to New York and hotels for the first 3 nights. 4. Secure a visa. And 5. Contact immigration office to start person trace. 8 p.m. Well, that's the hotel sorted. No need to be extravagant. For £65 I've booked a double room at number 16, a boutique room, whatever that is, very close to the coast in Seaham. Apparently it is situated at the start of the Durham Coastal Trail and opposite Tommy, the famous statue in the town commemorating the fallen soldiers of World War I. Appropriate in a way that, what with Ernie's wartime efforts. The rooms look pleasant and the sea air will do me good, I'm sure. No time for the coastal walk, though. I'm there on a fact-finding mission, without much time to find the facts. I will set off early in the morning and get there about 10 a.m. That will give me a full day and the best part of the next to find out what I can. If Mr. Frankenberg's recollections are correct, Ernie seemed to have left an impression on the place. Hopefully time hasn't eroded any trace. While surfing the net, I got an idea of flight prices for the US. Options to fly either to JFK Airport or Newark, ranging from between $650 and $1,250 return, depending on best times for departure and arrival. I want to try and avoid jet lag if possible and make the most of the time I have. I'm not a heavy sleeper, so I don't foresee any problem there. I will confirm times and book when I return from County Durham. Right, the final job for tonight is to draft a letter to Mr. Green. I'll post it in the morning on my way up to the northeast. I will also cash in those cheques. Don't forget the cheques. Letter to Mr. Green. Dear Mr. Green, thank you so much for your letter and the enclosed cheques. I am delighted to accept your offer and continue the search for Mr. Grimshaw. I do admit I felt that the job was incomplete, and I was a little dismayed at the thought of leaving the trail at the docks in Hamburg. As an investigator, an unsolved mystery is an unsatisfactory conclusion. I'm so pleased that you are satisfied with the findings so far, and I will endeavour to unearth far more as we move forward. Records dating back to the 1940s are, understandably, often incomplete or difficult to trace, but I'm confident there will be an evidence of a trail. I intend to travel to the northeast tomorrow morning and stay overnight. This should give me enough time to substantiate the story told by Mr. Frankenberg and look for any other traces of Mr. Grimshaw's time in the town. Then I intend to fly to New York City early next week, depending on flight times and availability, and I'll stay for 1 week. If for any other reason I need more time, I will change the return flight accordingly, but I do not see this being an issue. I'm confident I can track, trace, and gather what I need in 7 days. I will, of course, keep any receipts and invoices for both trips, and copies will be sent to you to show justification of expenditure. I'll keep a daily record of my plans and movements as always. Any relevant information will be sent to you on my return, and hopefully we are able to move the timeline forward beyond 1948. Mr. Grimshaw clearly means a lot to you. He does to me too now. Thank you for your continued support. I will strive to do the job to the best of my ability and to your satisfaction. Yours sincerely, Paul Brunskill, Private Investigator. I have more than enough money in my account to cover the cost of the flight, the hotels, and for the first 3 nights, and any other expenses before the 2 checks even clear. I should really wait for the money to appear in my account, but excitement has got the better of me, and rational thinking has gone by the wayside. This cavalier approach is not like me at all. I don't know anything about this Mr. Green, but instinct tells me I can trust him. I do trust him. Perhaps the giddiness of a trip to America is playing havoc with my usual caution, but what the hell? You only live once. 11 p.m. Bedtime. I had managed to do a little bit of research on Seaham and the sanatorium there. Apparently it is now a luxury spa facility. The grand house has been extended over the years, but the original building, derelict in the 70s, seems to have had a heck of a history entertaining both royalty and the grumpy poet, Lord Byron, who married, then dumped his wife there to live abroad. He left her to raise their child alone. As a sanatorium, its staff cared for many TB-infected patients and others with severe chest problems when it opened its doors again as a hospital in 1922. Of the few grainy black and white images of the building of this time, it looks a remote but tranquil place. The huge grounds offering plenty of space to relax and recuperate whilst breathing in brisk salty gusts from the North Sea. Ernie certainly seemed to have developed a fondness for the town during his stay there, and if Daniel is to be believed, the residents took to him with great affection too. He was known to join in and even lead local fundraising events. He volunteered to help with everything from litter picking to beach cleaning. Daniel was clearly proud of this friend, in awe even. As strange as it sounds, Mr. Diary, I feel like I'm on the hunt for one of my own relatives now. I've become quite fond of old Ernie, and I seem to know more about him than I do anyone else. Another jolt to the system, highlighting the fact that I've never allowed anyone to get to know me or me to get to know them. This is another thing I'll have to change. This is a lonely job at the best of times, but with this case, I really feel part of something. I feel part of someone else's life like never before. I want to find him. I need to find him. Good night, Mr. Diary. Another early start, but one I am relishing getting up for.